Saquon Barkley's receiving touchdown against the Green Bay Packers was a beautifully designed play. The Eagles have three receivers on the narrow side of the field with an inline tight end on the wide side. It's important to note at this stage that Barkley is on the right side of Jalen Hurts in the backfield. Before the snap, the slot receiver goes in motion to impact the alignment of the defense. The near side safety turns his back to the sideline and begins to move infield. The linebacker to his side moves from the slot so that he's in between the tackles. And the middle linebacker steps forward because he's trying to time out his blitz with the play clock. Barkley's first job is to work across Hurts to sell the play fake. This brings all of the defenders' eyes to the backfield. They're looking inside while the outside defenders playing man coverage are focused on their receivers. Hurts can see the blitzing linebacker coming, so he immediately moves to his right when the play fake is complete. All of that action in the backfield hid Barkley for a split second and distracted the linebacker responsible for covering him. He was frozen for a moment, giving Barkley a step outside. Since the outside receivers are releasing vertically then breaking infield, there's going to be wide open space for Barkley by the sideline. The linebacker has to win a race against Barkley here despite starting with a disadvantage. That's just not going to happen. Hurts delivered an accurate ball on time and Barkley made the play at the catch point for the touchdown. Barkley has spent most of his career playing with Daniel Jones, so there wasn't much of a passing threat to complement him. But he also primarily played in systems that didn't spread the defense out. That's the biggest challenge for defenses facing this version of the Eagles. You can't prioritize Barkley, and will often lose plays because of how you line up at the snap trying to cover AJ Brown, Devonta Smith and everyone else in the offense. This play is a great example of that. The Eagles put two receivers outside the numbers to the right side in a stack, which forces the two defensive backs covering them to widen and drop off the line of scrimmage. On the opposite side of the field, the Eagles put two tight ends at the end of the offensive line, forcing the strong side linebacker to that side and drawing the safety to that side as well. If we switch to the end zone angle, we can see how that naturally creates space for Barkley. The Packers only have three defenders to the right of the Eagles' centre, and the defensive tackle closest to them on the opposite side is on the outside shoulder of the left guard. The centre goes right to double team the front side defensive tackle. That opens a space for the linebacker in behind to sprint forward. Barkley doesn't panic. He matches the aggression of the defender, accelerating directly towards him before cutting away from him at the last second. He enticed that defender forward so he could get to the outside. And because of the defense's alignment, there's nobody else home to stop him from walking into the end zone. Barkley's other touchdown definitely didn't come as easily. It's a goal line run where Mekhi Becton, number 77, gets thrown into the backfield to take away all of his space. Barkley cuts against the grain of the play design and runs into a blocker. He's now turned and his feet are stopped short of the end zone. He should be driven backwards from here, but his intensity working his legs and his incredible power allow him to recreate forward momentum through contact and spin into the end zone for the touchdown. Barkley is the complete back because he has all the physical tools you look for in a running back, but he's also a nuanced, disciplined ball carrier. On this play, we see his patience to find space between the tackles. When Barkley gets the ball, he's running behind a double team from his right guard and centre. His tight end runs across the formation, pulling number 58 on the second level in that direction. The edge rusher to his right working against Lane Johnson has good positioning, control of his block, and his eyes are on Barkley in the backfield. That means the running back can't go outside. In front of him, he has two unclean running lanes, with Key Walker waiting to follow him into either. Mekhi Becton is coming off his double team, but he hasn't accounted for Walker yet. In other words, Barkley has nowhere to go right now. Instead of lowering his shoulder and running into a wall, he slows and chops his feet to let the blocking develop for a split second longer. That split second of patience was the difference between Barkley bouncing off a body and him running through a running lane the size of a landing strip. And from there, Barkley's speed gets him to the first down line. Barkley's longest run of the game came in the second half when the Packers are being more aggressive. It's a weird looking run because it looks like Jalen Hurts actually gets in Barkley's way during the handoff. He needs to bring that right leg back more because his foot is preventing Barkley from stepping across him to go left. The play is blocked like it's an outside zone designed to the left, and that's what the blocking will eventually turn into. But Hurts' right leg forces Barkley to straighten through the handoff, so he's running off right tackle. You can see immediately that Barkley is running away from the leverage of all of his blockers. There's a defender directly between him and Lane Johnson. That's definitely not the way it was drawn up. Barkley also recognizes this problem immediately. He stops his feet to avoid running straight into the crowd of defenders at the line of scrimmage, and then he shows off incredible athleticism and vision to somehow turn the corner late and bend upfield through the outside running lane that he initially couldn't run towards. If the field had better footing, he'd probably have planted off his left foot and run away from the last defender for the touchdown. It's going to be incredibly difficult for anyone to contain Saquon Barkley this year, so get used to numbers like he had in week 1. In fact, they might turn out to be on the low end of the spectrum.